1K for me. Congratulations to Daniel for picking up that first 4-pack of tickets. But trust me, guys, there's plenty more where that came from. Made sure of it, and we're going to definitely pack out the TCC for this weekend's homestand with your Tucson Roadrunners. We got Josh Stone back. That's Shane Jones' son. They've been on a winning streak, putting up massive points, and the fights have been on point as well. So super exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. So, but beyond that, of course, it is Election Day. And it's a couple days after Day of the Dead. Did you do anything for Dia de los Muertos?
I saw that movie in the cemetery on Saturday.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, how was that?
It was Book of Life. Such a good movie.
Oh, yeah, you saw Book of Life in the cemetery. Okay, that's good. And the kids weren't freaked out?
No, they loved it. I mean, Coda did think there were zombies about to pop out at any moment, but otherwise it was good.
Nice. Yeah, I love that movie for sure, and just Day of the Dead in general. So thinking about Day of the Dead, I was just like, well, there's been a lot of notable celebrities that passed away. I wonder if they went to heaven or hell. Or even heck. There is an in-between, right? So with that said, I put together a list of celebrities that passed away, and I want to ask you what you think, if they went to heaven or hell, okay? And so, it was going to be initially, I was just going to be like, okay, what's our opinion of it? But I'm like, you know what? I got science on my side. So I actually ran it through AI, and I said, based off these parameters and basic, religious standards and a public persona, did these people go to heaven or hell? So there is a right and wrong answer. Okay, so we'll start off with this. Betty White, heaven or hell?
Heaven.
Heaven. All right, you are correct. Betty White, the golden girl of wholesome entertainment, animal rights advocate, and all-around sweetheart, heaven's door is wide open for Betty White.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's another one. Let's say Bill Clinton prosecutor Kenneth Starr. If you remember him, he's the one that kind of got Clinton impeached, wrote up that large, 1,500-page investigation talking about Bill Clinton getting oral satisfaction.
Do you know who else he prosecuted?
He prosecuted a couple people.
Like bad people or good people?
You know what? He wasn't necessarily popular.
Okay, so maybe, I guess I'll just throw out a curveball and say hell.
Ooh. You're correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kenneth Starr went to hell. His legacy, particularly as a prosecutor, with a very polarizing effect on the public, lands him a warm spot in the inferno. Yeah, I know.
Those lawyers.
What about this? Bob Saget.
Heaven.
Bob Saget, okay. Why do you say Bob Saget went to heaven?
Full House.
Okay.
Everyone's daddy.
All right, well, that's what you remember, and you say everyone's daddy, and sometimes Bob Saget, he probably would have got a boner if he heard you say that.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Do I not know?
You don't know Bob Saget.
I don't know the dark side of Bob?
Well, you got to check out his stand-up. He was a blue comic, and, he was never really Danny Tanner. Like, that persona, he cashed a check, but his stand-up and his real life, he was actually a lot more edgy than that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He actually headed to Heck, which is Hell Light.
Oh.
Yeah, they say a good-hearted comedian, but with famously not safe for TV stand-up. Heaven, maybe. Heck, probably a better match. See how this works out?
In the middle.
Yeah, all right. Here's another dead celebrity, Angela Lansbury. You remember Angela Lansbury? Murder, She Wrote.
Nope. I'm going to say heaven. That's some good stuff, right? Some good books?
No, Murder, She Wrote was a book. I'm sorry, it was a TV show.
A TV show.
Yeah, but about being an author. She wasn't really an author.
Oh, was she like with the short hair and curly?
Yeah, just like every grandma.
Yeah, I'll go in the Betty White field, though, of heaven.
All right, yeah, that's fair. She went to heaven with a reputation as everyone's favorite detective and a legacy of kindness. Angela's solving celestial mysteries now. Yeah, so that's good to know, right? All right, let's ask a little harder question. What about rapper Coolio?
Oh, Coolio.
Now, Coolio did write Gangster's Paradise.
I know.
Let's see.
That's heaven for me. That was a banger.
All right, so, but he also had an addiction issue with crack. So heaven or hell?
Heaven.
Unfortunately, Coolio went to hell.
Really?
Yeah, they said after living in a gangster's paradise, he may be on a special assignment in the underworld.
Really?
Don't blame me. Blame the AI.
AI? What are you talking about? You don't know
they
anything.
Investigated. No, I don't know.
They investigated.
Yeah, absolutely. Within
they went
seconds.
down to these places.
They read every single interview and, every criminal police report. And unfortunately, Coolio didn't make it.
Oh, people make mistakes.
Well, you know what? Tell that to the other side. Okay, what about this? You're a Sopranos fan?
I am.
A guy who played Paulie Walnuts on Sopranos, Tony Sirico.
I'll just go to heaven because I love Sopranos.
You know what? You are incorrect.
Oh.
But he's not going to hell.
Okay.
He's going to hell light. Heck.
Heck.
Yeah. Given Paulie Walnut's bad boy reputation, even if Tony himself wasn't so intense, Heck feels like home. So, Tony's actually happy there. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, yeah, it's not heaven, but it's not hell. I still get the whack people, get a side of S, forget about it. Eat a cannoli. Heck is all right.
That's exactly what he says.
Yeah, I know. All right, what about canceled stand-up comedian Gilbert Gottfried?
Oh, I watched this kids show on PBS, and he voices the parrot on it. And so I really enjoy that. I'm going to say heaven.
Okay, unfortunately, you're wrong again. Your
Really?
judgment of character, not great.
We're all good inside, though.
Yeah. Well, Gilbert Gottfried did not make it to hell. He went to Heck.
Okay.
Known for his edgy humor that sometimes went too far, he's on probation in Heck, constantly trying to make St. Peter laugh, which I feel like he will make St. Peter laugh, and he'll eventually get promoted to heaven.
Yeah.
But as for right now, he's kind of in Heck purgatory, eating cannolis, and hey, forget about it. I have some more, too. I'll share with you in the podcast broadcast. Maybe even I'll throw out a name for a game to give out more tickets and stuff. Like, Queen Elizabeth II. That's...
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Your
Is
reaction.
she a lizard?
Well, you know what? AI did not designate her a lizard. They considered her a good person, and they say, though complex, her lifelong duty and general positive public perception likely got her a ticket to the pearly gates.
Yes.
Now, this is the only one that I was like, I don't know, man. She was in a position of power for like 80 years.
Long time.
Yeah, you probably had to order some executions during that time.
Just a few.
But apparently, when you wear pristine like palace gloves, the blood doesn't get on your hands.
No.
Oh, all right, well, let's hit the reset. We got more coming up right after this, including tickets to give away for a hilarious comedian that's performing at the Fox Theater. So keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Bad Wolves with the epic ending. Legends Never Die, which I think is appropriate after the game we just played. Welcome back. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA, obviously. Today is election day. And, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't wait for this day to be over. Well, yeah, you're going to hear about it for the next couple of weeks. Easily. That's just how it works out. But, what do we know about elections? In case you're curious, I do have some stats and facts about elections that may blow your mind. I know this was informative to me. Say in the United States, individual states decide how and when to register. Stop that real quick, as we got our special guest waiting for us backstage here, and that was a previously recorded little segment there.
I thought that was live.
Yeah, I know. I tricked you, Bryan. Good morning. We're live now, dude. We have little bits and stuff that we recorded earlier this morning. That we kind of squeeze in as we go back and forth, and we're going to be live on the air. To everyone watching the stream live, please welcome our guest. He's Bryan, from lead singer of Fame on Fire. Just recently wrapped up a tour with Wage War, which looked massive, dude. Right?
So sick. It was so sick.
Yeah, you even rolled through Arizona, but you were up in Phoenix. We were trying to get you in studio, but routing and how busy those schedules are. When you're on the road, like, at what time do you normally go to sleep, and how many hours of sleep are you able to get on that bus? Or,
well, we're not in a bus. I wouldn't call it a bus at all. It's more so it's a bandwagon, which is it's like a box truck with bunks. So,
okay, yeah, that's nice though.
Yeah, you kind of do this the whole time that you drive, so you eventually get used to sleeping in it. But this tour, we tried to maintain a schedule. At least I tried to. Some people did maintain a schedule. I was trying to go to bed around maybe 2 in the morning and then get up at 10, something like that. Eventually it just, turns into chaos when you get over to the West Coast, and then you go back over to the East Coast, and your schedule just goes off the rails. So some days it was waking up at 10 a.m. Some days it was waking up at 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's rough. So when you're done with tour, it kind of like people get jet lag. Do you have tour lag where it takes you a good week to kind of get back into a routine?
I don't know yet. Usually though, right now I'm not really sure what's going on.
Yeah. So when did you get home? Because this is your home setup right here, right?
Yeah. I got home yesterday. I flew in yesterday.
Okay, nice. All right, yeah. So you're just fresh off it, still coming down from the high.
Yeah, I'm still on tour.
Yeah, still on tour, which is great. And I mean, honestly, you guys have been staying very busy. Now we have a new single, "Chains," that we're going to feature here on the air as well, off of your latest album. Now, you guys kind of started making a name for yourself by putting out like original covers, right?
Yeah.
What was the first song that you felt like, okay, we're on to something here, and started kind of going viral?
Honestly, the first song we ever released, which was on accident, like we released it on purpose, but it wasn't meant to be a band thing. Our
Yeah.
drummer wanted to do a drum cover of Katy Perry, and then our guitar player was just like, he was helping him out because we all grew up together, we were all friends, and he was like, "Hey, what if you threw guitars on this?" He's like, "Try it, let me see what that sounds like." And like, "Oh, that sounds really cool. What if we got somebody to sing it? Because it sounds weird being like this heavy with Katy Perry's voice on it." And
Right.
then they eventually begged me to sing it, even though I didn't want to be in a band. Um, so I did that, and then we shot a video, and we didn't have a band name or anything like that. And it somebody entered it into some radio competition, and it just blew up.
Really?
Wow.
Yep,
You
someone.
know, it's Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
So what was the radio competition, and did you guys win that?
Yeah, it was like iHeartRadio's cover of the week or something like that.
Oh.
I see. I like that promotional idea, honestly. I mean, sometimes, look, because with radio programming, and we talk about this to our streamers all the time, like somebody will like a song that they hear, but they only love a song that they know. So, honestly,
Yeah.
to really get somebody to attentively listen to a band they never heard of, like all the way through, you got to introduce them to some comfort food. Like, what do they know? Right. And so the cover contest was actually a pretty great way to kind of start building up momentum for your fan base. And this is before you guys even had the name Fame on Fire.
Yeah, we went by the name Alex Roman, which is our drummer.
Mm.
So we had no band name. We didn't know, like, we didn't enter this competition or anything. It was a random fan that heard it on YouTube.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and so yeah, the first video we ever dropped went viral on YouTube, but viral for the time, which was like, like 60,000 plays in a week, which
Yeah.
which is a lot still. Um, but after that, we were like, oh, this works and people like this. Let's, Blake had the band name Fame on Fire, so we started going by Fame on Fire, and then we're like, let's try this again. And then like it just felt like every time we would do it, it would blow up again. And so we're like, oh, this works.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, you found your formula right away. You're
Yeah,
like, man,
we really did.
let's keep doing this until it fails. Did it fail this time? No. All right, well, let's keep doing it. So you did like A Shape on You from Ed Sheeran. Would you go? I mean, you're going for the formula is like a very popular, very successful song, and then
Yeah.
giving your spin on it. Now, from that though, you're creating a sound of something that's familiar, but you're kind of also honing your own sound. Now, then, once you started going into your own originals and stuff, was it easy to kind of like, hey, this is the sound that we cultivated through all these covers. We know exactly who we're going to be, or was that kind of like a rediscovering process?
I think a little bit of both because we definitely started learning how to write songs by covering songs that are written by the best songwriters in the world.
Yes.
So that was a way that we learned how to like make music, make structures. And so we started out making songs that were like similar in vibe to our covers. And then as we evolve as musicians and, original songwriters, our music started to evolve. And so we started to get like really cool, different styles. And, we started making our own sound, which was super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
But you said that you didn't want to be in a band. Like, what did you want to do before that?
I just wanted to produce music.
Oh, okay. So you're still in the music field.
Yeah, I wanted to just make music for other people. The band thing was like not something I wanted to be a part of. Because it was like it was one of those things. Blake, Alex, and myself, which we're all Fame on Fire. We were in a band before Fame on Fire. I was not the singer. I was the lead guitar player. We all got like just very jaded from, even though we were like 19 years old, 20 years old, we all got jaded from just playing shows every single weekend and it going nowhere. And so to me, it was like, this is never going to go anywhere. I need to give up on this and actually work on something that I'm good at, which is songwriting. which is songwriting and producing music. And so that was like where my mind was at. And I was like, if I was ever going to be in a band, it would just be a screamo band, and I wouldn't have to think about singing or anything like that. I'd just scream.
Yeah.
But you kind of went against all of that.
I went against everything. I went into like, we're just the most singy band ever. And yeah, I went against everything.
I love it, dude. Well, here, we're getting on the air here in about 7 seconds as a quick tease, and we're going to play your song Chains. So I'm going to have you set it up as well as we reset the table here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on a podcast broadcast. We have Bryan from Fame on Fire, who just recently wrapped up a nationwide tour with Wage War, just landed back at home, and are joining us on the podcast broadcast. Now, they released an album called The Death Card, and there's a single that KFMA put in rotation called Chains. Bryan, tell me about Chains before we play it here for our audience.
Chains was one of the first songs we wrote for this album, and it's one of those songs that to us has every element of what makes Fame on Fire really cool. It's got a poppy element, it's got a heavy aggressive rock element, and it's got a really, really cool breakdown in it. So it's got everything we want.
You also had another single, the lead single off this was Nightmare, but each song has like in parentheses a different title. So Nightmare is like the devil, and then Chains is the tower. So what's the significance of the like subtitles basically?
So the subtitles are tarot cards that are associated with the song based on the lyrics. Yeah. So the lyrics have to match up to the tarot card. The tarot card has to match up to the way that we feel about the song and what it gave us. Yeah. And so the tower's not a great card. It basically means that everything's kind of going up in flames for you. So Chains not a positive song, but it's a fun song.
It's negatively fun. All right. So.
Negatively fun. Yep.
All right. Well, let's crank it up here. Rock 2.1 KFMA. This is Fame on Fire, Chains. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Clear. Excellent. All right. So, yeah, we're playing Chains right now. Let's see how that works. It goes back and forth. In fact, actually, while we play this, let me pull up the music video for it.
I don't think you can show that one on air.
Oh, yeah. Too hot for YouTube?
Really is.
Why? Is there nudity in it?
Yeah, dude. Full on. No, I'm just kidding.
You're fucking with me.
Yeah. It's yeah, dude, it's just really a lot of buttholes. Only buttholes.
Okay, that's it.
Well, this is a band who knows how to get eyes on the product, right? And go viral. So they did the cover trend, right? They were leading that, and they're like, "What's going to be the next big trend? Like buttholes."
Just buttholes on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's so massive. So you ready to see some, musical buttholes here, Mari?
I am.
Yeah, you had her at buttholes. Right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just so gory. YouTube hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so did you get like kind of like a shadow ban at first when you released this? Because it is kind of like, I mean, honestly, it came out a month ago. That's October. It's, Halloween season. So you're basically watching, like how 100 horror films came out in the last 2 months alone. So,
yeah. It's too gory for YouTube, and there's no monetization on it, and there's no advertisements through it. And so if that happens, YouTube doesn't promote it because they're not making money on it. So why would they promote it?
Oh,
right.
Yes. I make this mistake often here with this podcast too, by either, vaping or cursing too much or something like that, or even playing a little clip of this, but it's more for the radio audience. So yeah, so immediately you realize you're like, oh shit, we're not going to make any money off this video.
Well, we don't really make any money off anything anyway, so.
Yeah.
So
initially, it's like, it's funny too. Initially, when you're like, I was a music producer as opposed to being a band, I was gonna say, because as being in a band, you're not gonna make as much money as being a music producer. That's where you can make money.
The only money we make as a band is through radio. Like,
oh yeah,
really?
Yeah. The only
not
money
even
we
touring?
make. Well, we do make money through touring, but like, it's sometimes you don't make any money through touring. Sometimes you just lose money through touring. So
Right.
Traveling.
the only way for us to make money these days is by writing, really good original songs and trying to get, ads from every station that we can, because, the more it's played, the more that we'll see.
Oh.
You see, that's great. Well, and we'll talk about that on the FM side too. Just as a like, hey, see, the radio's still paying. It's the only one still paying. I mean, your Spotify checks. Do you even cash those, or are they just comical at this point?
The Spotify checks don't even go to us. Like,
Really?
I haven't seen a Spotify check since we signed. Like,
Wow.
Yeah. Seriously. So we're back live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. You just heard the second single from Fame on Fire, really called Chains or The Tower. It's off their album, or the album, The Death Card, which is all like tarot-centric. And we're speaking with Bryan, the lead singer of Fame on Fire. We're talking about how the majority of the money they're making from their music is just through radio ads and spins, because radio actually pays for the music that they play on the radio, as opposed to Spotify is literally fractions of a fraction of a penny that you got to accumulate. Because you've accumulated, I know you kind of know your stats a little bit here, Bryan. You got big numbers on Spotify. So, I mean, if you were to guesstimate how many millions of views or listens you have on Spotify, where would you think you're around? The 100 million mark?
Yeah, probably more, to be honest. Probably, yeah. It's probably around like maybe 2 to 3 million total plays. Maybe maybe more. Maybe I'm like going.
No, I said 100 million. You said more. You said 2 to 3 million. That's the reverse direction.
2 to 300 million.
Yeah, 2 to 300 million, I think, is more accurate, right? So, I mean, you're sitting there with like a couple covers with big numbers. Without Me as 57 million. Is that the Eminem Without Me?
No, that's a Halsey one.
Oh, yeah, nice. All right, so, yeah, you just have insane numbers. And so with over 300 million plays on Spotify, you made like, what, $17?
After signing to a label, we have seen nothing.
Yeah,
Oh, nothing.
I know.
Yeah, you don't see anything in the way that label deals are structured. It's pretty messed up. Because you only recoup. So for our deal, I don't know what it is 100%, but you only recoup on 15% of what you bring in. So if you bring in $100, like you sell $100 worth of stuff, you only recoup $15.
Nuts.
So
yeah, that's a business. So I mean, honestly, the way that they make their money beyond publishing, if it's not owned by the labels, getting out there on the road, which you just did a run with Wage War, and the go-to. What's the game plan of you getting back on the road? I know that we're right before the holidays. Are you going to be on the road during the wintertime, or are you going to wait till spring? What's going on?
So as of right now, can't really talk about it yet because nothing's really set in stone yet.
Okay, but you got some cool things lined up?
Cool things lined up. It looks like we do have Sonic Temple announced, which is really going to be really cool because I absolutely love Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
But so sometime around spring, it looks like we're going to be going back out. There's talks about it being a potential headliner. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, racking up 300 million plays, a potential headliner sounds like a pretty smart move. If I was a concert promoter,
so we're talking about that. We're figuring that out. But yeah, it looks like we're not going to be going back out again till spring because we don't want to overstay our welcome with some markets because you can very easily play the same market way too many times. And we're gonna be home for a little while. We're gonna be working on some new music, and I'm looking forward to the tour in the spring though.
Yeah, and home is Florida, correct?
Home is Florida.
And you grew up there?
Yes. So I moved here when I was 2 years old. So I don't know anything else.
Now, we do a segment almost every day because it's so easy to do. Florida Man, because, like lots of craziness comes out of Florida, right? Does it seem like the Florida stereotype is accurate when it comes to being surrounded by insanity sometimes?
Yes and no, because, touring to every other state, you see the craziest things.
Right.
Like,
oh, no, I'm sure you see a lot of people who are like, you might as well be from Florida, for sure.
Yeah, it all feels like Florida, man. Like, I'm like, this is just like, we're just American. Like, like you see the craziest things. Like, Portland, California, like all those places. That's where you see like the wildest things.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like that's where you're like
really?
have to go, is this human or is this a dog's?
Well, I'll tell you what, Brian, I want to play a game with you after we get back from these words on the FM side. It's a game that we play where we take the absurdity of this great state of Florida and we also make up a bunch of different stuff. It's called Fake or Florida. So I'm going to be going through different headlines. Some of them will be real, some will be fake, and we'll see if you can decipher the difference between the two, okay?
I really love that. Let's do it.
We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. I'll be back after music from Bad Flower with a round of Fake or Florida with Bryan from Fame on Fire. There we go. Clear. Yeah, it'll be a fun game here. Let's see.
That's so good that you got that lined up. Figure Florida.
Yeah, I accumulate so many too because every now and then I've been busting out this game. I've been doing morning radio for like over 15 years now, right? This is one of my first games that I thoroughly enjoyed doing, even just trying to come up with the absurdity. But I mean, there's so many good like real headlines. Like here, I'll read you a real headline that we reported on just last week. Intoxicated Florida man in golf cart arrested at Applebee's. Right, that's a real headline.
Yeah, I don't even know how that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. No, this is actually one of our favorite Florida man stories in quite some time. I'll read it for you real quick. The guy goes by Jerry Ray Woods, right?
Okay.
He was arrested for threatening Applebee's employees with a wooden baton while intoxicated. It happened on a Monday around 10:30. Employees spotted him, who had been banned from the restaurant in September. So you fucked around too much when Applebee's is like, I'm giving you the Apple ban.
What is the Applebee's deal with the drinks?
Oh, they're cheap.
They're super cheap, and sometimes they're strong, sometimes they're not. You know, I mean, honestly, I do love me some Applebee's. What's your favorite like spot that? You know what? Actually, getting outside of Florida, what was a place that you never find in Florida? It's somewhere else in the country that you absolutely love. So when you're gonna roll through that state, you're like, we got to stop by this place.
Seattle.
Okay,
There's
Seattle,
like big ramen. I love ramen, and so like Seattle's got really good ramen. Like Florida, Orlando, like everywhere around here just has the worst ramen ever.
Oh,
and I hate it. Like getting really good Asian food in Florida is so hard.
Right. Yeah. I don't doubt that. And well, obviously you go along the Pacific Northwest, especially the north side, right? A lot like super Asian, Japanese influenced, like, Vancouver and Seattle. It's like such a large part of the population. And you got all the streamers excited about it as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Speaking of,
one thing I do like, though, I have to add is Canada's got way better food than America.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Shut your
love,
mouth.
I don't love Canada. Like I really don't, and I don't want to have to say that, but like Canada's got really good food. Like you just go there and like this food's just better.
Did you say poutine? I mean,
Poutine.
obviously poutine is a staple.
I've never had it.
It's delicious. But okay, so what about Canadian food that you love so much? Like what like the hamburger is better in Canada than it is here?
Everything. Literally everything. Take your pick. It's just there's something about like the government there that they're like, we're not gonna poison our people.
Oh, that's a novel idea.
Fresh.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Because there's not too many Canadians. There's like 30 million Canadians.
Right.
So they're like,
so they're
they got
trying
resources.
to keep them surviving.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
opposed to our overpopulation. They're like, hey, eat this Big Mac. It's fine.
Yeah,
You
like
ever toured in Japan?
yeah, we have toured in Japan.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Ramen out there?
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
The best.
That's the thing. It's like it's really not fair to compare like Japanese food to American food. Because it is better there.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's cleaner. I'm going back in literally 8 days.
Oh, you're going back to Japan?
Yeah, just to
I'm
visit.
gonna go out in March. Oh, just to
Just to
visit.
visit,
Where do
nice.
you go? Do you go to Tokyo or like what's your like itinerary?
Yeah, Mari goes every year.
Wow. As of right now, we are going to Tokyo because we're going with 2 people that have never been. So we're gonna do Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. The usual spots. Kanazawa, and then there's and then Hakone.
Ooh, I haven't been down there.
Yeah, Hakone is like we're staying at a ryokan, which is like one of those like traditional Japanese
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
suites. ins. I don't really know how to I don't know the real terminology for it, but basically like they like feed you, you have like this full like Michelin star course meal, and then like there's private onsens, like a private hot bath, and the hot springs come from like Mount Fuji or something. I don't know. It's gonna be dope.
Oh, it's the best. Those onsens there are just the best. Anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I got to go to a private one because I'm not allowed in the normal people ones.
Oh, because you have the tattoos. Yes, you do have to do a private one.
Oh,
That's how my husband, and he has like a full like bodysuit, right? So he has to do that too.
Yeah, we last time we were in Japan, we walked up to the front desk. We're like, "Hey, are we?" Because we couldn't figure it out if we were allowed in or not. And we're like, "Hey," we walked up to the hotel front desk. We're like, "Are we allowed in the onsen?" She's like, "If we have tattoos," and she's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, and she hands us like this like little sticker to cover our tattoos. I'm like,
one.
Yeah, just like one. I'm like, thanks. Thank you for trying.
So to go in there, you would literally have to just like put Post-its all over yourself, like the poster of Office Space.
Literally,
just to be able to get in. Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny.
Also, can't go to gyms there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is funny about their culture. Real quick question from our streamer Patrick. He asked, and I want to pull this up here so you can see this. All right, so this is his question. Are you still putting out cover songs?
Nope.
Done with the covers.
Done with the covers. We that was like, with the new record and everything that we did, we wanted to like definitely change the narrative behind us and everything. And so we didn't want to be putting out any more covers. We didn't want to do that. We kind of wanted to kill off, in a sense, like who we used to be and who we were, and kind of open up a new door to everything else. So like that's the whole like meaning of the death card. So not just like emotionally and personally, but also like as a band where you're like, it's time to rebrand, it's time to redo everything.
So, yeah, and so this is like a conceptual album then. What made you gravitate towards the tarot cards as being the theme somewhat running through this death certificate?
Yeah, Death Certificate.
Well, not Death Certificate. That's Ice Cube.
No, that's the next album, Death Certificate.
The death card. Yeah.
We just thought it was a cool concept. And we didn't realize how much it would like really mean to us when we first started like working it out. But it's really cool. Like when you really dive into all of it and you dive into the meaning of everything, I think a lot of people can resonate with any of the cards that we picked to write songs about. But I think it was just a really cool concept to us. And it's I don't know. That's it. It was just a cool concept. And then it started meaning something a lot to us.
I love it. Yeah. And also, with that, what's been the song that you perform live on the road that you get the most reaction on, especially when you're doing the support tour, right? So they're not essentially there for you, all right? No. So you're winning over a new crowd every single night. So what's a song that you've been like pleasantly surprised, like every time you perform it, you're like, oh, we got him on that one?
The big one was, so we were playing Chains before we even had the album released or Chains was released.
Yeah.
And so every night that we would play Chains, we would see people just go crazy. Like,
so you're like, I can't wait for this to be released.
We knew that song was that was like it for us.
Right.
Now that the album's been out for a little bit, well, by a little bit, it's been out for a little over a month. It's been out for 2 months actually. Yeah. 2 months. Now that the album's been out though, and people know the songs, and we can see kind of like the success of some of the songs. Like Nightmare is a very big one for people.
Yeah, that was your lead single too, right?
That was our lead single. A big one for the last tour we just did, like the song that made the crowd go, oh, like this is dope, was Welcome to the Chaos, which was the third song we played. Like that kind of like sparked everybody, and they're like, oh, I think I know this band. And everyone started going in on that one.
It's so crazy too when you think about this, especially with the streaming generation, the TikTok generation, or you're going out in front of audiences where, they could listen to your song, be a fan of your song, never even look up the name of your band, not even know that until they're just like, oh, wait a second, this is one of my favorite songs. Oh, this is the band of one of my favorite songs now in front of my face.
There are so many people like that where they're like, I didn't know that was you guys.
Right.
Like people would hear Nightmare and they would come up to us because we would go to the merch table after every single set, and we would go hang out, talk to the fans, and people would be like, I didn't know that was you guys that made that song. We're like, well, now you do.
Yeah, and then in your playlist and all that.
Yeah, and then you also get the people that go, I never heard of you guys before. This is awesome. You're like, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you're still politicking. You're out there shaking hands, kiss the babies. We're speaking with Bryan from Fame on Fire as we're live on the podcast broadcast. And Fame on Fire just recently released an album less than 2 months ago that you can check out. It's called The Death Card. And we're going to play Nightmare here in a little bit as well. So, It's interesting, too, because you were talking about how Chains, which is the song that we played at the top of the hour, was one of your personal favorites that you saw a reaction in the crowd. But then that's and I like this strategy as well when you're releasing music, like the 1-2 punch. Mm-hmm. You have the lead single, they kind of get their beak wet. That's like the jab. And then your follow-up single is like the hit single that you're going for. That's the overhead. That's where you hook them, right?
100%.
So was that the conscious decision going into the release? You didn't want to release Chains first. You wanted to kind of, give an introduction to set it up for that knockout punch in Chains.
Exactly. Yeah. Nightmare we felt was the safer of the songs. It was like the more, active rock friendly one. And so we didn't have a Japanese band on it either. So Chains we have a Japanese band on. Nice. And we were just like, and it's just a different song. We're like, we think it's really cool and really unique. So we're gonna like kind of ease them in with Nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, and you did. So we're going to play Nightmare here in a little bit. But what part of Florida did you grow up in?
I grew up in South Florida. So
South Florida, okay. So like Miami-ish?
About an hour north of Miami. It's called Boca Raton.
Yeah, I was going to say Boca Raton.
Isn't that where Against Me, Laura Jane Grace?
I don't know. I just know that's where a lot of old people live, and there's a lot of golf courses.
Yeah.
Do
you ever see craziness happen around you while you're living in Boca Raton, or is that basically reserved for the news?
Not too much craziness in Boca. Boca's like a very yuppity area. Like,
yeah,
a lot of big Jewish population, a lot of old people. It's not a crazy area at all.
You know what this your area is getting infiltrated with is reality TV stars. I think you're starting to get an influx of reality TV stars that are moving there and setting up shop there. Like Johnny Bananas from The Challenge opened up his like Rumble gym there.
Oh no, I've since left. I no longer live in Boca Raton.
Okay, yeah.
I no longer live in South Florida. I live in Central Florida now.
All right, yeah. So, all right, well, Central Florida, yeah, you're right in the thick of things, which is good because with Florida, we always kind of keep an eye on Florida for their news because it's wildly entertaining. And what I do is I accumulate different headlines from Florida man situations, and then I put them in a list, and then I also come up with my own headlines. And Bryan from Fame on Fire, I want to play a game.
Let's play a game.
This is fake or Florida. Okay, so I'm going to read you a headline. You have to try to decipher whether it's an actual factual headline from the great state of Florida or something made up from my sick and twisted mind. All right, so it's going to be very difficult to tell the difference. We'll get into the first headline. Tell me this. Is it fake or Florida? Headline is, Florida man arrested for using marijuana plants to beat brother.
Oh, that's
fake?
Real. That's real.
He knows it's Florida, dude.
Does.
Yeah, that is correct. That is real. An actual headline. All right. Next headline. Florida woman, or Florida ma'am, sets car on fire after man refuses to buy her a McFlurry.
Damn.
Fake or Florida?
I think that's also real.
That is correct.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Let's go.
Florida ma'ams get hangry and get crazy.
Yeah.
You have any crazy exes in Florida?
Oh, all of them.
What's the craziest thing an ex has done to try to like spite you?
Let me think.
This is a safe place too, so if you're ever abused, you could let us know.
Yeah.
You have allies here.
I don't know. I've just, I usually just get the emotional abuse ones that are like, trying to hook up with your friends. That whole thing.
Painful.
Yeah, homie hopping.
Yeah, that's always fun because I just tell them I don't care.
Yeah, right. It's like I'm in a band. I mean,
you can do whatever you want. I haven't had too many exes, honestly.
Oh, that's good. Are you married right now?
No, I'm not married, but I'm in a very long committed relationship.
All right, nice. Long committed, but you're not like gonna like take the plunge and stuff. Has she been pressuring you to like get down on a knee and ask the question?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
All the time. You kidding me?
yeah. I'm sure. It's reminded all the time. All right. Let's get into our next headline. Fake or Florida? All right. Security footage catches mysterious Florida man strangling farmer in Orange Grove. Fake or Florida?
Fake.
Damn. See, look, you got to be from the state of Florida to master this game. That is correct.
I'll tell you why that one's fake. Because
Okay.
why would there be surveillance footage in an Orange Grove?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, you know what? That's critical thinking, and you're flexing your brain on me, Brian. And I appreciate that. That's super smart.
Because the one time I've been to an Orange Grove, there was no cameras in sight, and all we did was steal oranges the entire night.
I mean, if you ever
Yum.
partied in Orange Grove, that's good times. I mean,
It is.
it's
It's a great time, honestly.
Yeah. It's like a maze and everything. I mean, Arizona and Florida are very similar in many different ways. The Orange Groves is just one of those ways, and I grew up definitely messing around in Orange Groves.
And just taking
yeah.
oranges.
Yeah, and chucking them at your friends and stuff, having orange wars. Yeah, I mean, it
Orange
was a thing.
Wars. Wow, that's new.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, when you guys pull over to the side of the road, if you see an orange grove as like a team building exercise for the band, you guys should get out and just start pelting each other with oranges. It's a good time and good vitamin C. Yeah.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. All right, here, a couple more headlines real quick. See if you can go for 100%. I'm trying to stump you on one of these.
I'm trying.
All right, here is next headline. Florida man accused of killing roommate asked Siri where to hide the body. Fake or Florida?
That's tough. I'm gonna go with. I think it's fake.
There's your first incorrect answer.
Yeah.
That is an actual real story. A Florida man did kill his roommate and then asked Siri, where to do that. Now, this happened a couple of years ago. I'm sure ChatGPT would lead to the assist for, modern day Florida man murderers. But, yep, there you go. See, there's one.
Assisted murder through AI. See, I went against my instincts on that one. I got to just stick with my instincts.
All right,
Yeah.
time for redemption. All right, so here's a final headline. Fake or Florida? Florida man breaks into home, caught sucking on dog's tail.
That's real. 100%. That's got to be real, right?
No, that's fake, dude.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I thought it was real.
That one felt like the most Florida thing ever.
I know. And it was a pug too, so it was really just ATM. All right, never mind. Let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. But first, the lead single off of the album that was just released 2 months ago, "The Death Card" by Fame on Fire, is called "Nightmare." In parentheses, the devil. Now, why did the devil card come up for this song, Brian?
I don't really 100% remember the reason with this one, but like I do know that it fit it the best. Like any card that's going to be associated with any song, it's just going to fit it the best. I think the big thing with this one was like the temptation of it all.
Yeah.
Which is like what Nightmare's written about. It's written about, the temptation of being a musician, and it can take a turn very quickly for you as a touring musician. And so that's the whole premise of this whole song.
Excellent. Well, let's get into it. Live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Here's "Nightmare" by Fame on Fire. Keeping the podcast moving. YouTube.com/BeFegan. Clear. Let's pull up that video too. Did you get banned from this video as well?
No, this video is cool. This video is cool. They like this video.
Yeah, so you got approved by the YouTube overlords?
Yeah, the YouTube overlords are like, oh, this is nice.
Did you know this almost immediately when you released Chains? So you're just like, oh, we fucked up. But kind of that's what we wanted to go for. When
we released Chains, we did not think we fucked up. We actually didn't think about it at all. No. We didn't think about it until our label was like, hey, we can't monetize this.
Right. And were they upset by this? Did they want you to reshoot it or recut it?
No. They took it at face value. They're like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's good. Sometimes, like I understand it's a business, but sometimes you let the art be the art. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, we're not making money off this art, but does it help to, for the grand scheme of things, the bigger picture? Yes. So
Yeah, exactly. Thinking about this video, I remember like the actress that played the we call her the Goo Girl, like
the
that, like
Goo Girl. You
yeah, the
still talking
Goo
about
Girl.
chains? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's in all the videos.
Hmm.
So, the actress that plays her in this one was like, it's like getting waterboarded.
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah, having to wear that costume is like getting waterboarded because like there's like all this like paint and like I don't even know what it is. Like just jelly just
Yeah,
covered
like
in it all over your face. And so like she literally could not breathe. And it was
Oh no.
crazy shooting this. Yeah.
Were you
I,
concerned for her?
you have to get
totally.
that thing though. That thing
Yeah.
is heavy.
I was very concerned for her. But then there was like on in the other music videos, it's a different girl. And this other girl, like she what is that? What is that one haunted house that people go to that they like get gagged and
Oh,
like
the one. Yeah,
uh
Is it? It's in the
Manor.
South or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Where
something manner.
you have to sign like a 50-page release just to go through
Yes.
it, and yeah. It's
Yeah.
like literal torture.
Yeah. This girl that played the second one could definitely do that and be fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was like into BDSM. She's like, yeah, put some more goo on me. I'm all
Yeah,
about this.
she's like, I can breathe. She's like, I don't want to breathe. Like
Oh yeah.
it was actually insane. Like she's like, everyone's like, you're fine. She's like, I'm just cold. We're like,
Oh
okay,
wow.
because you're
Lots
like
of
wet
heat.
the entire time.
Yeah. What's the pro? Like, yeah, when she's all covered in this, how long does it take to get her ready for the scene?
I think it was like maybe like an hour or two. Honestly, it was just like makeup and like getting everything put on, like paint, makeup, getting the whole outfit put together. It's a very elaborate outfit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a crazy
Whoa.
scene. She
Yeah.
like
Who
this act
conceptualized this?
this was myself, our director Ori, and our creative director Flo. And so we all kind of worked on this and put this whole piece together. I think Ori and Flo really took majority of this one, but like they would just go, what do you want the video to look like? And I was just kind of give
Right.
them a brief concept of it, and then they would take it and make it really cool.
Wow.
Chains, I feel like I was a little bit more involved in than this one, but like, yeah, they
Well, I
basically asked me
mean,
what the
when
video.
you're listening back to the final product of the album, and that's just a IHOP commercial. Do you visualize it? You see kind of like where you want to go with all these music videos, or is it something that's just like a collaborative effort to kind of bring out what you guys all are kind of thinking equally?
I definitely like visualize things when we're making the song, how it's gonna feel, how it's gonna look. Um, but I think it changes while we go because if I'm not writing it down, it's gonna change. I probably
Right.
have I probably have like a very different concept written down on my phone about what the nightmare video was going to look like, and then we had a meeting about what the video was going to look like, and then it slowly like changes and evolves. And I'm very collaborative with everything. I don't think my idea is going to be the best idea. Um, if we don't use my idea, I'm totally cool with it. I just want whatever is going to serve the song the best. I'm just really down for.
Yeah,
And
you have so your notes app in your phone where you're just jotting down notes
oh, dude,
nonstop.
I can show you guys. Like I have just like I had the entire album music video structure laid out so it would all make sense story wise. Like so it would
When you
slowly progress.
Yeah, when
Like
you jot down notes, do you do it in detail or are you jotting down kind of like just little blurbs that you could understand? Like you have your phone on you or are you on connected on the phone right now?
yeah,
Uh,
let me see.
read some examples of your notes of what you jot in there because I know I do this as well. You know, I try to because if you don't write it down, you are going to forget about it, right? So, like the secret to the success as a creative is that when the inspiration strikes, write it down immediately, circle back to it. But sometimes you'll read back and you're like, "What the heck was I thinking here, dude?"
I know
Wait,
my
where is
note.
Like I got boob salad. What does that mean? You know?
Mine says, "Do you take away recess if my child does A, B, or C?" That's my last note.
Are you giving yourself a little quiz, huh? All right, what do you got, Brian?
Oh, interesting. Okay, so right here in the note, I think I would just send this note out to like everybody and like so like this is just like for the nightmare one.
Okay,
Where it's like
no, this long note.
nightmare video. In this video, I want Goo Girl. We would call her Goo Girl to show how terrible life was without her around. And we had this idea. So this one never got done, but we wanted the start of it to be like the whole idea was for showing how life was with her and then without her, and like kind of like, you know, the evolution into the chaos of, you know, where it all ended up. And so we wanted to start out the video of like it at a birthday party, because like your birthday party should be like one of the best days of your life, right?
Yeah.
As like as anybody, as like it's like almost like in a kid sense. It's like at a kid in a birthday party. And so we wanted to start it out as like a birthday party, but everything starts going weird and wrong. Like the cake that gets brought out isn't really a cake, it's like a human heart or something like that. Like just like really weird things. Like the clown is just a little bit too creepy, and like it kind of starts to like slowly drift into madness. And so that's still a concept that I honestly would love to use for video one day, but like everyone's just like, they're like, okay, well, we have like this budget and you want this budget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll figure it out to make it better.
There's a way. Yeah, there's a way to kind of meet in the middle, right?
Exactly. And we will get there. We will get there. There will be one day, there will be somebody that is like, I'm going to give this guy $100K to make a video.
Yeah. Now, you seem like a big horror film fanatic. Am I wrong on this? Do you enjoy that genre?
You're not wrong. I just don't watch it enough. Like I don't watch too many horror movies. Like the horror movies that I have seen, not all of them, but a lot of them I do absolutely love. I think they're great. Right. On Halloween, I watched Late Night with the Devil, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
really good movie. Yeah. It stars the guy who was in was it Suicide Squad as the Polka Dot Man?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you can't imagine that. You'd be twisted. Yeah. So I mean, what's your go-to to watch when? So I asked this question as a speed break question not long ago. When you're tired of scrolling, right? You don't want to scroll. You're on a stream machine. What's your go-to thing to put on for the background?
YouTube. I'm just a YouTube kid to the max. It's like I always got something to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, always.
Right.
Yeah. Like I got my people that I watch, and like it's always YouTube. I did try to make a effort on this last tour to watch more movies. Because you know I've never seen the first John Wick.
Oh yeah.
I've seen 2, 3. I've never seen the first one.
That's so funny. I've only seen one. I haven't seen 2, 3.
Yeah. Well, the second and the third didn't make any sense to me while watching them. Like the story didn't make sense. But I still enjoyed them because there's like a lot of action behind it. But like no, one is sick, super sick. Yeah. I also decided to watch the Terrifier movies on this tour, which was a big mistake.
Yes, that's what. The Terrifier 3 is banned, right, in France?
Well, in some places, and it's strong warnings because of how like gruesome it is, and it feels like they have to keep like raising the bar. So yeah, you ended up hating the Terrifier films. What happened?
Terrifier 1 is the worst movie ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes,
and somehow it kicked off a franchise, dude. I know.
Yeah, no, it was made 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
really?
It was made 12 years ago, and it's a really bad movie. There's literally zero plot to it.
Yeah.
Like there's no plot. All it is like how to get an interesting kill on people. And like then there's this clown. And I was like, I get it. Like it took 14 or I guess I would say like it took 10 years for the second one to come out. And so like it slowly developed this like cult like mentality behind it where people are like, oh, this is really cool. Like I get that. Then the second one is like even worse than the first one somehow because it's just longer.
Yeah.
It's longer and there's almost too much story to it. And like they're like throwing everything at the wall. They're like, what if we made it like a psychological slasher, but we also have like magic and we also have like religion and just like you're just like, what the hell is happening? They threw every horror genre at the wall in the second one. And so, and like the second one, it wasn't even as gruesome as the first one, in my opinion. Yeah. And so I haven't seen the third one yet. I've tried to get people to go with me to the theaters because at this point it's just like for principle. I have to watch all of them.
Let's see where they're going to go with this, and if they're going to eventually right the ship, which I don't think they will. Have you seen like this reminds me of like Human Centipede in a weird way?
Never watched it. Never watched it.
I will say, watch the original, the first one,
Yeah.
and it's one of the funniest movies you're going to see in your entire life. Inadvertently hilarious.
I
Rock
can't
One
wait.
2.1, yeah. But then we're with Brian with Fame on Fire. But then 2 it takes it way too far, and then 3 tries to bring it back. So like they kind of
There's
jumped the shark.
3 human centipedes.
There is. And then the third one is like, let's get the longest human centipede ever made. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That's so good. Of course. They're like you as a director and a writer of like that film, you have to be like, what's the most ridiculous thing we can possibly do?
Right. It's like Mad Libs and coming up with scripts. Same thing. So like Terrifier and Human Centipede was the connection we were trying to make. It's kind of like the same thing. Terrifier became a cult classic because it made literally no sense.
Yeah.
And then the second one, they tried to make too much sense.
Yeah.
The third one, now they're mainstream.
Yeah. I'm really interested on the third one because I did hear though that like people are like, well, in the first one you don't get to see the gruesome thing happening. Like it like kind of like
It's implied because they didn't have the budget.
It's implied, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
The second one, it's not. There's not too much going on. Like there's not too much gruesomeness. But the third one, you see it. Like they show you what's going on. And I heard about one of the kills, and I was like, that's so cool. So I will watch it. I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but I will watch it.
You'll hate watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's no reason for the second one to be 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
Wow, it's that long.
I know.
Yeah.
They tried to make it like a Scorsese version of Terrifier.
Yeah, there's no reason. Like there's like the cool parts of it, but then there's just no reason.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's too funny. Yeah. And I still haven't seen it, but I do know the first like 10 minutes there's a warning, people are passing out and all that stuff.
Terrifier 3. Is that one a long one too then or no?
No. I think that one clocks in under 2 minutes.
No,
2
it's
hours.
2 hours too. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
5 minutes, really?
2 hours.
You know what though? They have to, and with movies now going to like movie theaters, they're competing against streaming, right? So you can't make the 90-minute movie anymore because they're just like, that's just one episode on Netflix.
True.
Right? And so they kind of have to go long. It's stupid.
I don't think a horror movie needs to go long. I don't think so.
No.
You a fan of the 90-minute movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Horrorfire 1 was too long anyways, or Terrifier 1 was too long anyways. That one was only an hour 25 or whatever. But I still, that whole movie, I sat there watching. I'm like, how much time do I have left?
Like you're actually being tortured. We're speaking with Bryan from Fame on Fire. Before we wrap things up, let's get into your beef tip here on the podcast broadcast. Here's how you can tell if 8-legged mites are having sex on your face.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, Bryan, you technically live in a van for 6 months out of the year. You might want to listen up to make sure you don't have 8-legged mites having sex on your face.
I
Full
definitely
mite
do.
orgies. You definitely do. You ever wake up in the morning like, it feels like there was a party on my face. I wasn't invited.
My skin's so exfoliated right now. What's going on?
Well, there was a Dr. Scott Walter, who's a dermatologist from Denver, who went viral for explaining Dermanex mites. They're tiny 8-legged creatures that live on our faces, and they come out at night to eat our dead skin and mate. And he says that almost everyone has them, particularly in areas with hair follicles, son of a bitch. And you can use a clear tape to test if you have them. So they can trigger skin conditions such as acne and dermatitis, as well as cause issues. So the way that you're going to find out if these typically harmless, super horny 8-legged mites are having sex on your face is, let's see, they say they come out at night and see, noting their ability. Oh, he shared this on TikTok, noting the ability to sense light as a cue to emerge. And almost everyone has these mites in particular. They're let's see, I'm reading through. They cause issues around eyes and eyelashes. They demonstrated a simple test to spot one, which is the tape. And you could describe they have a full belly. Now I'm just spewing through this. How do you tell if they have sex on your face, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to get like a microscope on my face just to see some little mites.
You're going to give clear tape and just put it on your face and then pull it up. You're going to see those mites, especially if they're like full. So basically, there's no way to stop it. He suggests good hygiene. And it's it. So, like, wash your face thoroughly, or there's going to be eight-legged mites having orgies all over your face.
Yeah. Definitely on tour in a bandwagon. There's definitely some mite orgies going on my face.
Yeah, especially with the beard, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and thanks, Todd. Yes, I ended up reading that wrong. But either way, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. But Bryan, we appreciate you hanging out with us this hour on the podcast broadcast. Super nice meeting you, dude. Now, for everyone else out there listening and stuff, where can you lead them so they can make sure they follow up on your new music, your latest music videos, and all the shenanigans that Fame on Fire is doing?
You can find everything you really need to know at fameonfireband.com. We could not afford fameonfire.com because they wanted too much money for it. And then follow us on socials, Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook, whatever really suits your needs. Just anything but Twitter, because we are locked out of our Twitter account at the moment. And so just stay up to date. If you want to catch us on tour, that's probably the best place to find out information, is either going to be Instagram or Facebook.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear your latest tour announcement. Hopefully, we'll be making your way through our area so we can see you live. And again, appreciate all the time. Have fun in Japan when you go visit, and keep up all the great work, okay?
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. That was Bryan from Fame on Fire, everyone. We're going to we're done with the show. Thank you guys for listening. Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef,
stick around, Bryan. We'll wrap things up with you off air.
Come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.